Hey guys, EST here, back with another great video. In fact, I bet this is going to be a very popular video because we've all seen, hey, if I had $1,000 budget and I'm just starting out with preparedness, what would I buy type of videos. I'd go for this and this and this, and this knife is great and that's $60 and this is that and that. And a lot of people that first get into preparedness are like, okay, well, I need this and I need this. Well, obviously I need this. You gotta have a knife, gotta have a water filter, gotta have a way to build fire. I gotta have a good solid jacket. Okay, gotta have, a sleeping bag would be nice. And then you start getting into, gasoline storage, and by the time you add it all up, I mean, if you just were to go to like eBay or Amazon or something and add it all to your cart, you might think, ooh, sticker shock. Okay, that's a lot. So a lot of people get caught up in gear. I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this, and I need it all, and I need it all now. Because what if I need it tomorrow? So people overextend themselves, they buy stuff on credit. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. In fact, I commonly wouldn't recommend that. Yes, there are things you absolutely need. It would be inconceivable to not have a knife, a fire starter, and a water filter. Which, I mean, grand total between them for just some basic functional stuff is probably $50. But I don't know about you, that might be a lot for some people. That would be a bit for me to just arbitrarily go out and spend one day when I gotta buy groceries and pay bills. So we're gonna cover the other side of things, and I'm not about to tell you, oh, you can totally be 100% prepared and not spend a penny. Although there is one kind of tricky way to make something kind of like that happen. I'll get to it near the end of the video. But basically, if you needed to take your focus off gear because of budgetary reasons, here is what you can all do for free. So number one, knowledge, skills, and practice. That's very, very, very important. And yes, I'm starting with the obvious one that I'm sure you saw coming, and this isn't some metaphorical, oh, well, knowledge is priceless and it's better than any tool or whatever. No, you need tools too. And in fact, I'm going to cover this from a completely different angle. So would it be great if you could get out in the field and just try starting a fire? Go watch a couple of YouTube videos on how to start a fire. I've got one coming up, except everything's covered in snow right now, so you're gonna have to wait a bit. Try magnifying glasses, Fresnel lenses, try the magnesium starters, try lighters. Don't try rubbing two sticks together, bow drills. That is just tedious, stupid, and a waste of time. But once you think, oh yeah, those were too wet, or I got too thick of sticks, or I cut them wrong, or whatever, that's the kind of stuff you want to get out of the way while it's not important and crucial and time isn't a factor. But if you can't get out and do that, because that's a couple hour thing, who knows if it's legal to light a campfire in your area, you might have to go to some friend's house out in the country or whatever. It's a hassle, it's a whole thing, and you're probably working a lot of hours to try to make money just to pay your bills anyway. So the next best thing is go online and download a fire making video. Download it to your phone, save it locally. Not the easiest thing to do. A lot of YouTube downloader apps are actually just malware. Let me just throw that out there. But you could find a PDF, some ex-military scanned thing, some volunteer put together, some WikiHow article. Use the Microsoft default virtual PDF printer built into Windows 10 and just print the webpage as a PDF. And then save it to your phone. I mean, as long as you got a solar power charger, battery bank, whatever for your phone, you're good. Now you've got it. You don't need Signal to open a local file, a local PDF saved to the phone's memory or a memory card. So what I would do is, hook up your phone to your computer, set it to USB transfer mode, and then just start absolutely loading it with every survival guide, PDF, anything you can find anywhere. General car maintenance and repair guides, a manual for everything you own. Go find your lawnmower manual, download that. Okay, you probably don't need a lawnmower in case of emergency, but how to identify wild edible plants. There's all kinds of free, just putting information out there to help people type of guides that people made that you can download to especially a micro SD card on your phone. I put in a 128 gig one, class 10, good respectable brand, and it was like $14 for like a UHS 1 certified speed card. So I mean, they're cheap. If you get like a 32 gig one, that could hold like practically a library worth of PDFs and guides and information. And we're talking first aid, how to do CPR, that kind of stuff. And you could just breeze through it as you have time. But in a severe grid down scenario, or like, you're stuck because there's a power outage, there's nothing better to do, start reading up on it. Look up, let me open my guide that I have on how to heat up a house in case of a power outage in the middle of winter. I downloaded a PDF for that. Oh, I downloaded a video for that off of YouTube. and stored it on my memory card on my phone. And now I've got hours with nothing to do, although you'd want to address the situation quicker. So just knowing it, storing the information in your head, that's primary. If you can't do that, and if it's just more information than you could conceivably memorize, like every edible plant in all of nature, which honestly, if you don't use on a daily basis, you're going to forget anyway, and you'd want to cross-reference it with pictures anyway, just download the guide to your phone. It's nice to have access to that so that when it becomes needed, you can very quickly learn it, or at least not learn it, but like follow the steps. So sometime in the future, I'm going to put together the biggest library I can possibly get of like every free open source, non-copyrighted, Creative Commons, public domain kind of PDFs for people to just download all in one place. But if you just poke around the internet for like an hour or two, you can come up with quite a lot, have it on your phone, and just be like, whoa, I am so much more prepared than I was before. So gathering information either by gaining skills by doing it yourself, or if time is a factor, or, learning is a factor, the volume of information is a factor, then as a backup, throw it on your phone, throw it on your computer, throw it on your laptop, throw it on a flash drive, throw it on every device you can get. In fact, you can buy old phones, like just some like Android 5.0 disaster that's like 5 years old but still has a functional battery somehow. Load it up with, a micro SD card, 32 gigs for like $5. Throw all the information on that, then take out the battery physically after charging at 100%. And when you need it, you should be able to pop in the battery, boot it up, and there it is. You don't need the latest version of anything or an internet connection or Wi-Fi to just open a basic local file. Pretty much every phone can do that. You can just even ask your friends if they have an old phone they're not using and say, hey, I kind of got a project for it. And they'll be like, okay, fine. I don't know what to do with it. Sure. In fact, you probably have an old phone sitting around. So the next thing you can do is just general maintenance. Stuff that could be a problem in the near future that you could address right now. Like, hey, this window lets in a lot of cold. I've been meaning to do something about it, but a new window is, $500 or whatever. I should at least really just put plastic over it. So, go get the window covering for $1 to $2. I do consider a couple dollars here and there to be fairly insignificant for the context of this video. And address it before there's a power outage where all of a sudden that, drafty window is causing immense problems immediately. Or, you got a jacket, it's a nice winter jacket, but there's like a hole in it and it's worn down and you need to patch it, you need to sew it. Well, go get a basic sewing kit at the dollar store for like $1 and sew it up. Oh, the sole is kind of coming off your shoes, but they're not completely worn out. Oh, you've been meaning to glue them. Well, then go do it. Boy, if there was a flood and your car and your house are out of commission and you're walking to higher ground manually and then the sole falls off your shoe, you're going to have a bad time. So go sharpen your hand tools, go fix your staple gun. If it's something you might need in an emergency, go address it right now. So any kind of pending maintenance that's kind of becoming like a safety issue or like a potential weak point if a bad weather event were to happen, just go address it. Just take the time, the effort, the labor, and just do it, assuming it's not something that takes a ton of money. So just generally fixing stuff up, addressing problems, just getting that to-do list done. If you notice, there's a little bit of, mold growing in this corner of the basement. I really should spray it with bleach at some point. I'll get to it eventually. Well, in a power outage, when the dehumidifier, turns off and it's now 50 degrees in your basement and condensation is rolling down the walls, a small amount of existing mold is about to become a very large amount of mold, and then you've got a worse situation. You might not be able to live in your house because of that one single issue and have to leave and then have to clean it up, bring in, mold specialized contractors. It could become a nightmare, so it's like, just go address it. A bottle of bleach is like $1. So I'm not talking about, go, do the laundry because it's past laundry day. I mean, anything that's like a safety issue, something that's half broken, something that could just use your attention, just go take care of it now. Then you think, okay, in case of a bad situation, at least this clothing is fixed. This part of my house is fixed. This thing on my vehicle is better. So the next thing I'm very excited about, because this is huge. A lot of people don't think of this. And when I tell people about kind of my methodology to this, they get very excited. In fact, hey, if you like this section or you like the video so far, leave a big like on it. It always helps discovery so more people can find this. And, it's good information for everybody. A great thing to do is leverage the Lazy LTL, which, yes, I know, usually means less than lethal. You could also call this, in some cases, letting rich people pay you to take shortcuts because they're rich and they can buy their way to faster results. Not as graceful as the other title. So something I quite literally just did is when you're about to go package up, 90 days worth of food of just dry goods, rice, noodles, beans, whatever. So you want to get the Mylar bags, but those are, 51 quart bags are like $35. Oh, closer to 50 with the oxygen absorbers. And you think, well, $50, like I'm only making like, what, 400 or 500 a week. If I already got bills to pay, I can't just, spend $50 on something I won't need for 3 years maybe. I can't swing that. So what you want to do is maybe get like the whole project price, like a whole big thing, a little bigger than you were going to go, and get it all priced out, which, by the way, you can do very easily by watching my other little mini documentary, my little 1-hour video about how to preserve food for long shelf life stuff in Mylar bags. And so you go, okay, a bag of rice, 50 pounds, it's this many calories, it'll be this many quarts, this much weight, this many days worth of food. Then, the 50-pound bag is $22. Noodles, okay, those tend to be, X amount per whatever. The Mylar bags plus oxygen absorbers, 51 quart bags plus oxys, I don't know, $60. So all things considered, you could say, okay, I was going to get, 2 months worth of food, but let's just make it half a year, 4 months, whatever it turns out to be. And the whole project's about $150, which is bigger than you were going to do. But then you jump on, social media, not that I'd promote actually using Facebook. Let's just say it's disabled on my phone and I use a fake name and gave them absolutely no information on the actual Facebook website. So that said, you jump on Facebook or, go in person to your next family get together at, Christmas or, playing poker with the guys or playing Dungeons and Dragons or wherever you gather up with people, just mention it to them. So like online or offline, let all your friends and family know, hey, I'm, putting together a little project where I'm doing some, 30-year shelf life food, just in case of emergency, all fits in a nice little tub. And hey, if anybody wants to get in on it, I'm over ordering. It's way more than I need. I'm just getting bulk discounts. So, hey, people like to get in on bulk buys, and people might think, it's kind of like an opportunistic thing. As soon as you mention to them, I'm doing this emergency shelf life food thing so that I have 2 months worth of food, they immediately think, I don't have 2 months worth of long shelf life food. Maybe I should do that. If you're doing that, and I know you and respect you, then I should do that. And then there's the FOMO, fear of missing out, the opportunistic thing. There's some marketing and psychological term to it, but it's a thing where like if a fish sees an injured minnow and they're not necessarily hungry, they're gonna go after it because it's easy. It's an opportunistic thing, and humans have a very base level thing in their brain that's the same. And then, like I said, it kind of shifts to the fear of missing out. Like, what if I miss this opportunity? So this is right in front of my face. It's easy. It's cheap. I could just have somebody do all the work for me and just deliver it, and it's somebody I trust. Yeah, maybe I should jump on that, So a lot of people, you'll get an amazing response from it. So if you get 1 or 2 friends to agree to it, let's just say 1, and you just tell them, yeah, about, $100, $150, I can get you like 2-3 months worth of food. And if they're like, oh yeah, 3 digits, scary. I mean, you could probably make it 80 and just get 2 people, just saying. Or just only discuss it with people that wouldn't give a crap about spending $150 on like anything at any given time. Somebody who makes decent money where they'd just be like, okay, whatever, impulse buy, cool. You get them to basically fund the whole thing, and then you're just leveraging your labor. They're basically paying you to do it, and then you're just doubling it and keeping half. And you might think, oh, that sounds like a scam. No. Technically, it's called running a business where you acquire things, do a thing with them, value added, and then you sell it to somebody else for a margin. Except in this case, you're breaking even. You only get to keep the food. You're not actually making money. So, just saying, I don't find it terrifically immoral. But yeah, if somebody says, oh yeah, $100, $80, $150, I'm in, sure. For 2 entire months of food in case something happens, go shop online, see what some, 2-week food supplies are right now. $300-$400 a pail. In those nice little neat white buckets that cost a fortune to ship, most of which aren't even freeze-dried. So this is where it would be nice to have, a credit card in case of emergencies or a credit card in case of lucrative business opportunities. Everybody says, oh, credit cards are bad. Not necessarily. Not if you intend to pay them off within 30 days, just saying. So, you go buy it all up front on credit or get them to pay up front, cash, go pick it up cash, whatever works for you. And then you package it all up, take exactly half, sell it to them, done, and you just kept your half for free. It cost you absolutely nothing but a little bit of your time. That is leveraging the lazy. I mean, I'm not calling people lazy. It's just kind of a funny name. It's not terrifically serious. If the person doesn't want to go learn all about, where the best vendors for Mylar, all the stuff that you already know from watching my channel. where to buy the best bulk foods, how to measure it, what you need as far as amino acids and what types of beans contain all the proteins you need to live, and how like vitamin B is coated on enriched rice, so you always don't want to buy non-enriched rice. All the knowledge, the learning, the stuff that took you an hour and 5 minutes by watching my other video. If they're not willing to do it, they're just willing to slip you $100 bill and you do it all for them and just give them the end product. That's probably like a good use of their time if that's within their resource and that's responsible spending for them. So like I said, I nicknamed it Leverage the Lazy. I'm not actually calling them lazy. In a lot of things in life, you can either do it yourself or you can pay somebody else to do it. Like, a restaurant versus cooking. I mean, this is not like a complicated concept. So no, the other thing is kind of like the group buy scenario where, if you wanted to quite literally do a group buy where you're like, hey, I'm getting bulk this, like I'm getting bulk, I don't know, batteries, water filters, whatever. You're getting a big wholesale pack online from some vendor for $300. You could get a couple of your friends together and just be like, hey, I'm getting this huge bulk buy. It's like half retail, a third retail. It's super discounted. I just don't need this money. You want to get in on some of this? And then when they ask how much, just say, oh, I could get you, 25, lithium 18650 batteries. Or like I could get you 2 water filters or whatever because I'm buying a dozen and it's going to cost X amount. And just think, okay, I'm ordering, I don't know, a dozen water filters. I want to keep 2 and it's going to cost me, and bulk wholesale, probably $150 tops. So you get a bunch of interest drummed up with multiple people before you buy it. That is the key. And then you pick up the commercial lot, the liquidation lot, the imported from another country lot, whatever, and then split it up. But here's the thing. You make sure that after you keep the 2, that the 10 sell for $15 a piece and you collect the entire $150 and you got your 2 for free. Which, I mean, it sounds shady, you're pricing it a little bit higher, but a lot of people who do group buys are like, I'm the buyer, I'm taking all the risk and it's my time and I've got to deliver them all to you. So yeah, I'm going to take a little healthier cut. I'm going to price it up, 10% for all of you. This ain't a charity. Once again, it's basically you're importing a product and then giving it to a person. You're basically a store. Stores don't buy things for $15 and then sell them for $15. Okay, just saying. You're providing a service, you should get compensated slightly. And if the only thing you're getting compensated is 8% of additional water filters and then making $0, that's fine. And like I said, this is all just a means to an end. You just got your water filters, The problem is you got to have a lot of like-minded people who are like, yeah, I want a water filter. Those people are like, what are you talking about? And I can't imagine what else you would buy in bulk that like everybody would be interested in. Maybe like, I was going to say food, but I mean, if you're going to buy 50 pounds of rice, just package it all yourself and keep it. I mean, when I think bulk rice, I mean like 50 pounds is bulk rice. It's pretty cheap and it's only $22, which is not that expensive. You don't need a group to, help fund that. And I can't imagine you buy like a metric ton of rice for a whole lot cheaper. I mean, you'd pay freight on it. I just wouldn't even recommend that. But hey, if you have good ideas for a group buy that you think would be very lucrative that your friends would get in on, launch it. And plus, leave a comment down below with what the idea is. So leveraging group buys to get your stuff for free, that's very, very effective. It doesn't always work. It depends on your circle of friends and how many people you know and how many you added on Facebook. But, it's nice. And just keep in mind, like 20% of people are going to flake out. They're going to think, oh, by the time it gets here, I'll have the money. Oh, I don't have the money. Or, oh, I changed my mind. Oh, I picked it up somewhere else. You're probably going to get stuck with some, and it'll be a miracle if you collect all the money. So not my favorite thing to do, but I have done it before, and it worked out kind of okay. But it might be smart to basically order 12, have people lined up for all 12, and then just wait for people to flake and then keep those. That or just build in a financial padding margin on it, because you're going to get stuck with some and have to sell them to someone else. All right, it's time for the Leverage the Lazy lightning round for stuff that's a little bit less specific, a little bit more obvious, but a little bit more effective and realistic to everyday life. Take a little bit of money, take some time, go to a rummage sale, pick up, 8 hand tools, and then sell 4 of them on Craigslist or to a pawn shop immediately. If the price is right, the 4 that you kept were free. In fact, you might have actually made money. Go raid the local thrift store. Buy 3 sets of shoes just as backup shoes for your, just in case, throw them in the car or whatever. Throw them in your bug out bag. But while you're there, get on the smartphone, start looking up shoe models and take, maybe you bought 5 pairs of shoes and then, boy, I think I keep changing these numbers, but you get the idea. You buy 5 pairs and then you sell 2 on eBay and, you spent $30 and then the 2 you sold on eBay made you $50. And then you got the 3 pairs for free. Overbuy, sell in a better market. It's very low effort, it's very easy, and it's a very good way to get free stuff. You can go on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, whatever, and just find anybody who's offering trades, who's willing to do weird bartering operations. If you want a nice rain barrel, and somebody's offering a rain barrel for $30, which, they're about 90 retail, sure. With the diverter kit, cool, but it's just, maybe you don't have $30 to spare in your budget right now. Well, maybe offer them, hey, I got some firewood. Or, hey, I do this professionally, oil changes, car repair, computer repair, electrical contracting, babysitting, something somebody would reasonably trade for. House cleaning services. I mean, who doesn't know how to clean their own house or apartment? It's kind of weird to just like somebody you don't know just be like, hi, I'll come clean your house. They'll probably just assume you're going to clean out their house and rob it. But I mean, if you're thinking, hey, at any point I could just go, cut down a tree in my backyard or my friend's place. He's got all these trees he wants gone, but he's got back problems. So if I offer to go do it, he'll just let me do it to get the tree gone. You go take half a day, cut it down with his tools, load up, your truck or whatever with a pile of firewood and then trade it to somebody for something you actually wanted. None of that really cost you money. So bartering for services, bartering for goods that you can easily acquire, bartering for goods you already have but value less. Very, very good thing to do. Not everybody's into that. A lot of people want cash money because that's why they're, selling things online, but you never know. Like I say, the worst they can say is no. Some people get annoyed by the constant, offers for trade. I know I occasionally do, but I'm like, well, all they did was ask me a question. And then I just replied, no, I want cash. I mean, that was 10 seconds of my life. If I'm getting annoyed by it, I'm the one with the problem, honestly. So another one that people point out is, I'll just grow a big garden and then, I'll grow like nothing but beans because I'm going to dry a bunch of beans instead of buying them because it'll be cheaper, which first of all, no, it won't be. And then secondly, selling food, people get really leery about food. You could go to your local farmer's market and, maybe it was rainy that day. Now you got stuck with most of your inventory. Or somebody undercut you or you didn't make enough money to cover what you cost, bought in tools and fertilizer. That one's a little sketch. You can't just say, I'm going to grow double and sell it. It's food. It's different. The best you could probably do is I want to put in a garden this year. I'm going to front, $50 in equipment, fertilizer, soil, whatever, wooden planks to build a raised garden and seeds. And then I'm going to wait for people to be too late and have already totally cleaned out the gardening stores and nurseries and greenhouses. And then they start looking on Facebook Marketplace for, bean starters and corn starters, which aren't a good idea, or herb starters for, basil and oregano, cilantro. God, cilantro's an easy one. Hell, if you really want to front the money, you could, float it for an entire year. Okay, not the most realistic. Get a ton of cilantro seeds like I did last year. Just let a bunch of the plants go to flower. And now I have like probably 3,000 cilantro seeds that I could very much maybe sell. The problem is they're only $2.50 at the, at the gardening shops. So if you list it on Facebook, like, I've got all these seeds, like, first of all, who needs like 1,000 seeds? Are they going to buy 20? And why are they going to drive across town for $2 when they could just go spend $2.50 at a store? So when it comes to gardening, selling food, that kind of stuff, it's really rough. I mean, I've seen people that are just like, hey, I'm going to put up, an 8x8 of corn, and then I'm going to set up a stall in front of my friend's business. They already approved it, and just sell corn because that's pretty lucrative. People buy it on the way home, and people who sell corn, they make good money. But boy, as soon as it starts getting attacked by ants and you need ant killer, and then it starts getting attacked by, fungi and you need a fungus killer, and you need, now you need to spend $15 on neem oil, and then, they're not doing so well, they're nitrogen deficient, now I need to go get nitrogen fertilizer, and suddenly I'm over budget. So when it comes to gardening, I wouldn't do it. When it comes to like just raiding a garage sale, rummage sale, yard sale, tag sale, there, I used all 4 terms. Are you happy now? And then, like I said, just overbuy, sell half on the secondary market, sell it online, sell it to a pawn shop, flip it and keep the other half. I mean, that's how you get free stuff. That's quicker. That's so much more quick and effective. But to mention it again, plant starters, people pay a lot for those for some reason, and they're very low effort, low cost. People are just lazy and they're willing to just, pay $5 for 3 plants instead of $2 for 100 seeds to just plant them and start them themselves indoors and then replant them outside in their garden. They're just like, no, I'll pay a couple bucks more and have the nursery do it for me. And then if they're extremely lazy, they didn't go out and shop during the first good weather of spring, and now the place is sold out. So now they're desperate. So you start doing, 6-inch tall basil starters and, onions, whatever's popular, tomato starters, those are huge. You list them on Facebook Marketplace, boy, do those things go. I mean, that is a huge market, and you can make a huge amount of money on it. So that's one of those, I'm going to do 100, I'm going to keep 20 for myself and sell 80, where the 80 that you sell as starters, even if they don't all move, even if some die, even if there's not as much interest, you're still going to make your money back. Oh, yes. So that's the one leverage the lazy gardening thing that I would say actually works. Otherwise, like I said, selling food, it's so cheap and people are so leery about it. Outside of a farmer's market where you got to rent the booth and all this stuff, it's just, there's too many unknowns, too many expenses, and it's very difficult. I wouldn't touch it. Go into like, a business bankruptcy liquidation auction and buying a bunch of stuff and selling half of it, mostly to people who are just, they want it delivered to them, or they want to, drive 5 minutes, not an hour, to go pick it up at some auction, plus, take 2 hours to follow the auction and bid, and they're willing to just pay more to save themselves time. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I always tell people, if something's going to take you 10 hours, or you could pay somebody $100 and just get it done instantly and buy the final product, and you've got $100 in your expendable money because you make a decent amount of money, why not? Time is more valuable than money, so if you have the money, save the time, And if you're on the opposite side of the spectrum, go spend a little bit of time and then go collect some rich person's money, Leverage the lazy. Overbuy, go to the high effort stuff, and basically sell in a better market. One that pays a higher price for people who aren't willing to do things the hard way. Or I should probably say the tedious way. They want to buy their way out of the time-wasting way of acquiring certain products. I mean, it's like if somebody's too lazy or just doesn't have the time to walk around to 30 different garage sales and buy hand tools and shoes and clothes, and that you've got a place where you could, either, like I said, a pawn shop, flip it immediately, or list it online because, it's a hot item that'll go quick, like a refrigerator, a bookcase. Believe it or not, those are two of the hottest items on resale. Old gaming systems where somebody's got it for $10 and you're like, I know for a fact they'll sell for 50. Just collectively, you could go spend $100 at a bunch of rummage sales, which is what we call them in Wisconsin. And then, sell half of what you got just in general collectively. Some will sell, some won't, and you end up with $120 and half the stuff. Well, you made $20 and you got half the stuff for free. All that it took you was, one morning on a weekend and a little bit of your time and some gas. So I wanted to focus so heavily and give so many different examples because the whole leverage the lazy, take things from one quick liquidation style market and put it into a bigger market. It's so effective people do it as a full-time job. There are people who do eBay reselling and picking basically full-time, and they make thousands. So it works. So if you want to effectively get stuff for free, just overbuy, get rid of a portion of it to reimburse yourself until it's basically free, and keep the remainder. It's a very slick way to pick up all kinds of, emergency tools, emergency supplies, clothing, equipment, footwear, hardware, lumber, firewood. It really does work. And, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, after just really hustling on this stuff, boy, you can just look at your rooms and closets and piles and garage full of just free stuff, literally free stuff that you needed but didn't want to pay retail and didn't want to just front the money for no matter how cheap it was. So that's how you truly start, disaster preparedness for free. Like I said, knowledge, skills, that kind of stuff, learning, that's great. But at the end of the day, you do need, tools and stuff. You do need blankets. You do need additional sunglasses. You do need all that good stuff that you would put in your emergency bag. And actually, one thing just occurred to me, the big group buy item. Why didn't I think of this before? Ammunition. You go get 1,000 round case, although maybe not now in early 2021. My God, have you seen the prices? But in a normal year, you go get a case of 5.56 223 or whatever, something real common that people fire. Call up a bunch of your friends, post it on Facebook, although they will delete it, and just say, hey, anybody interested in a group buy on ammo? I'm getting this, it costs this, and just make sure, you keep 200 out of it, and the 800 costs the amount that the 1,000 does. Real simple. Other people are still going to get it for cheaper than retail. In fact, you could probably make money on it. I might have heard of people 3 years ago, 10,000 rounds of 22, they paid 3 cents a shot. And right off the bat, they took 5,000, sold it to their friends, sold it at the gun range, sold it, on Craigslist and Facebook when they still allowed it, which was shockingly recently. Hell, put an ad in the paper. Rent a booth at a gun show for $40. They moved that stuff and they ended up paying for the entire 10,000 and they basically got 5,000 rounds for free. That is the group buy item. That is the classic item right there. So you might want to consider that in a year that isn't this year. Although 3 months ago, I did go to a gun show, picked up 100 rounds of 9mm for a really reasonable price, and then sold 50 of it for the amount that all 100 cost. And trust me, the other person was still getting a pretty darn good deal, considering it's literally not on the shelves at all. That person just wasn't willing to drive an hour and a half out to the gun show. So the last thing I want to kind of circle back to is kind of like the whole, pick up knowledge, pick up experience, pick up practice kind of thing, except it's fitness. Lose some weight, get stronger, lifting weights, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, that's all free. You don't have to get a gym membership, you can just do it at home. In fact, if you don't really know where to start, and more importantly, how to do it safely, just jump on YouTube and look up, I think it's calisthenics is the whole thing. It's like body weight resistance stuff. I mean, let's be honest, something in your house probably weighs 20 to 30 pounds. You can pick it up and curl it. I'm just saying. Hell, fill a bucket up with water. I mean, that's exactly 8 pounds per gallon. It's pretty predictable. And just start doing curls with that. If you're like me and you're a little bit too out of shape because of COVID, that's totally my excuse. To do a full push-up, I'm a little heavy right now. I'm about 220 pounds, 6 feet, so I could stand to lose about 30 pounds. I'm getting on that because losing weight is free. In fact, you're probably going to save money by losing weight. Go out to eat less and buy cheaper food. There you go. I mean, a pound of steak and a pound of carrots. I'm just saying, like people say, oh, health food is so expensive. Yeah, if you buy the wrong stuff and you're an idiot. Yeah, some sugar-loaded candy disasters are like 99 cents at the gas station, but you ignore that. I mean, cheap food isn't typically healthy food, but really healthy food is typically really cheap. But also, like I said, you don't have to go get workout DVDs. You don't have to, hire a personal trainer, get a gym membership, any of that stuff. Just hop on YouTube, look for, anything, your workout videos, follow along, dance, whatever you're into. Get some jams going. Binge watch every single video on my channel while intermittently doing, light jumping jacks and sit-ups. Hey, because then you're doing two things at once. You get fit, so that if you're like, oh man, I have to get out of the house quick and now I got to walk 2 miles, or I have to run because if something's on fire or whatever, I don't know. Or, hey, there's an incident, there's a bomb threat, there's an active shooter situation, I gotta move, I gotta climb, I gotta go down these stairs, there's a fire in the building, I can't take the elevator, I gotta go up the stairs, down the stairs, I have to, climb down a fire escape. You really want to be able to do that. You can't just say, okay, give me like a couple days and some protein shakes and stuff to get fit real quick. No, you got to go now. And if you just, ran up 3 sets of stairs and you're already winded, you better get in better condition than that. And getting in better condition by doing basic cardio, just go jog around the block, walk, power walk, put on some ankle weights, whatever basic thing you got to do, like do it now. Because like I said, that's free and it's very important. Plus it has the side benefit of being very good for your health. I mean, if you don't want to like die when you're 60, or you don't want to have all kinds of health problems, hypertension and this, medication and that, and oh, now I had a partial stroke and, all those problems from being, not fit, overweight, or just really not working out, even if you're at a healthy weight, you really got to get that cardio going. It's going to come back to bite you when you're older. So it's like aging is like the slow disaster that's happening, but also you might want to be fit for a more urgent, quicker, sooner disaster that you can't see coming. So that's one of the most important things is just get fit, get athletic, stretch, do some, I'd say yoga, but they got that religious, pseudo-religious, new age, crystal waving, hippie, quantum energy nonsense attached to it. No offense to anybody who believes in that religion, except yes, offense to that because it's false. But anyway, you can just follow along with the stretches and not listen to all the crap about breathing in energy. But, light cardio, light weightlifting and stretching, that kind of stuff, joint mobility. I say do it all, but whatever you're into, whatever you're going to stick to, just go out and do it right now. And if all this still sounds like time consuming, you're thinking, okay, I'm working like 2 jobs. That's why I'm poor. I don't have time to go do this and do that and organize this and pick up this and sell this and, watch 3 hours of videos on YouTube. I mean, everybody's got some downtime. It's, you got to stick to stuff you'll do and stuff you'll enjoy. Otherwise, your life will just be nothing but work and no entertainment value or anything satisfactory at all. But some people look at a 500-piece puzzle and say, that looks like work, that's horrible, I don't want to do that. And some people do it because they find it calming, and when they get done, they get immense satisfaction out of it. So it's all about framing, it's all about personality. So the one thing I would propose to you is jump on YouTube, watch a video about cooking over a campfire. Keep it real simple. How to light the campfire, how to cook a fish, how to gut a fish, how to, mend things, re-sew a collar, fix, pant legs that are wearing out, something useful. While you're watching the video, do some basic athletic stuff or, clean your house or fix something in your house. And technically, if you're watching like how to cook vegetables over a fire, you could replicate it on your stove. You just learned how to cook something healthier yourself for less money because vegetables are really cheap if you buy them raw. And then while watching the video, you're doing sit-ups. Like, you're literally doing everything I just said in the entire video all together. You're saving money while getting healthier, while getting fitter, while gaining knowledge. If you don't find personal satisfaction in that, then you probably have a motivation problem. So don't be afraid to kind of stack your time, multitask, do two things at once. In fact, personally, I find it very hard to just take an hour out of my day that I'm not working, not making YouTube videos, not making money, especially, and like go for a walk. And just that's all I'm doing, going for a walk. That's pointless. It's a waste of my time. Yeah, okay, I burned some calories and got a little bit fitter. Cool. Now I got to stress out and get less sleep because I got to work and I got to go do this and I got to go make money. But if I'm doing like 4 things at once that all benefit me and I can just cram it into 30 minutes, that's a lot better. So the last tip is just don't be afraid to multitask. Because then it's like, I don't really like learning. I don't like, trying to memorize stuff, trying to watch a video and like learn along with it. School was awful. Who likes learning? But sometimes you just gotta, have the willpower to rip the Band-Aid off and be like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to take an hour and do it. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, whatever. So, jump on YouTube, watch an educational video that you can kind of half pay attention to while listing things online that you bought at the thrift shop. And taking a break every 5 minutes to do sit-ups and push-ups. And then cram all of that into just 1 hour in your schedule. It all costs you nothing. In fact, some of the stuff I mentioned will actually make you money. And you'll be fitter, happier. You can go to bed at the end of the day and be satisfied with like, I got a lot done today, without wasting your time. Like if you just went for a walk for an hour and then came in and you're like, oh my God, I still got to do laundry, do this, and then get up for work. Now you're more stressed and you're like, I actually wasted my time. I'm actually mad at myself. Yay, hooray, I exercise, but like I actually made my day worse by doing that. So if that's you, maybe like I said, try to stack it up and you'll be a lot more satisfied with how you handled your time and just that you didn't put it off, you didn't procrastinate. And one thing that I for sure want to mention is, getting in shape while learning and practicing along with YouTube videos that teach you self-defense. Because self-defense, being able to defend yourself against an attacker in any kind of really drastic emergency situation, very important knowledge to have. And while you're practicing it, you're burning calories, building muscle. So that's a field I would highly recommend getting into as soon as possible. So like I said earlier, if you like my videos, leave a like on it. Don't forget to subscribe because I got the hottest, most extensive, and in some cases concise, whatever fits the topic videos on my YouTube channel. I've got a lot more to come. I mean, you could just take 5-10 minutes out of your day and find out the best way to heat your house in case of an emergency. That's one of my hotter videos. I even got the $20 dollar store raid challenge, which I think that's my #1 most viewed video right now. Basically, if you were to take a $20 bill into the dollar store because you found yourself with 20 extra bucks and you're like, what can I get to maximize, the most basic, best prepper items to really just cover the basics and, stretch my money out the best? That video is definitely worth watching and possibly replicating. So yeah, go check out the rest. I mean, if you were to watch every single video on my channel, you will be so much more informed and safer and knowledgeable. I've even got a video on just like tips on how to be safer in your daily life. Like, don't unlock your car until you're within touching distance of it because somebody could, run in and steal something or try to hijack it. That's something almost nobody thinks of. They unlock their car from across the street for some reason. You just real quick zip through that little video and you're like, oh wow, I'm now safer. I'm more knowledgeable and safer just because I took the time to do that. So there's also other educational creators on YouTube other than me, but I'd start with me. Call me biased a little bit. So do subscribe if you like my content and found it helpful. Check out the rest of my videos and I will hopefully see you guys next time.